I want to make just a few closing comments. I know you've been here a good bit of time. I appreciate you taking the questions from my colleagues. And you are a good person, and I like you, and I like working with you. As I said at the beginning, I like you. I do not like the president's budget, and I hate what I think the budget would do to this country, which is more of what has happened the last few years. I don't think Republicans have all the answers, and I don't think there are things that Democrats propose that should be dismissed out of hand. And I think most of the big problems, quite frankly, will only be solved when Democrats and Republicans get in a room, hash it out, find consensus, which is why I'm so interested in a bipartisan fiscal commission. I don't have much hope in this institution. It's a long shot. It may not work, but the current dynamic isn't working either. But we do at least have this sort of belief system, as I said, this set of policies that reflect the values of my Democrat colleagues, who have the best of intentions, and my Republican colleagues. But here's one thing we can't disagree on. And so the American people can look at the president's budget, see the belief system, and vote accordingly. Same way with the Republicans' balanced budget blueprint. So it's there for everybody to see now. We've marked ours up. The president has submitted his. This is how it ought to work. The people will make those decisions in November. But here's what's not for debate: the unsustainability of the path that we're on. And this is what I want to say to you from my heart, and with the deepest concern for our country's future. Both parties have contributed to the mess we're in, no doubt. I do not give my Republican colleagues and my party a pass for where we are today, where we're going, which could be catastrophic. I don't have to recite the numbers to you. Ms. Young, you know them well. But CBO just came out with a 30-year projection. So they gave us the $20 trillion that will be added to the debt with current policies over 10. We're already paying more, almost $1 trillion in interest, more than we pay in defense for our national defense. But in 30 years, it's going to be about $150 trillion. And the share of that per family will go from about $250,000 to $1 million. And our annual deficit, which is almost $2 trillion now, will be over $7 trillion in 30 years. And think about that, Mr. Trone. Just think about that as a business guy. We're going to spend 75% of our $7 trillion in what we borrow to fund this government on interest alone, not on a safety net, not on sailors and soldiers, not on climate policy and programs. I mean, pick your thing. Let's debate those programs. Let's debate those strategies to solve problems that the American people believe we ought to be responsible in doing. But we got to pay for this. Because, and I'm just quoting you back, and this isn't one of those to put it back on you, but you made a good, I think it's a statement that a lot of people believe here. We don't tax citizens on the debt. Yeah, we tax our children on the debt. That is a deferred tax on our kids. And it is not only not courageous, it's immoral for both sides to leave us on this unsustainable path. So just find it in your heart and push hard while you're still serving our country and this president to encourage your colleagues on the Democrat side, as I encourage my Republican colleagues, to get in a room, so to speak, hash it out, and let's save this country. Because if this tips into a sovereign debt crisis, I believe that it will undermine everything good about the country, everything. The greatest economy in the world, the greatest military in the world, our leadership in the world, and most importantly, and I know Mr. Trone believes this, our children's future here. That's why we're here. So I appreciate Mr. Trone, I appreciate my Democrat and Republican colleagues, and I appreciate you and your service. So Thank you for being here. Thanks for committing so much time to the Budget Committee. God bless America, right? God bless America. And with that, we have just the questions. Members can submit their written questions to be answered later in writing. Those questions and your answers will be part of the formal hearing record. Any members who wish to submit questions or any extraneous material for the record may do so within 7 days. And want the record to reflect that Mr. Trone is still here when the buzzer goes off and the gavel goes down. With that, the committee stands adjourned.